All right, everybody. How you doing? It's News Debate. I am Lee. This could be an interesting show. I got the tissues. It's not because I'm crying. Oh no, it's because I'm sick. And I've delayed today's show the last couple of days. I thought, well, I'm just going to throw in the towel and I won't do a show. But if I didn't do a show today, I probably wasn't going to do a show the entire week. And so I figured, what the hell? Let's do a show while sick. It's News Debate. I am Lee. Want to welcome to the show over on Twitter Spaces, patreon.com/NEWZ Debates supporter Patrice. Also, friend of the show, Better Call Sal. Better Call Sal's based in Ireland. Patrice and I are, of course, based in the United States. So, always great to have international guests on the show. Also, live over on Stereo, sending video to twitch.tv/NEWZ Debates and rumble.com/user/NEWZ Debates. I am already off of my game. I'm having to look up these links. I say these all the time. I'm like, what's the Rumble link? Oh, yeah, being sick. Nothing quite like being sick. Patrice, you were joining us as a speaker. Do you want to throw in? I don't know if you can jump in or not.
Good afternoon. Glad to
Yes.
see you are.
Good to
Uh,
have you on the
alive and
show.
kicking.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I said yes. I hope you're feeling better. Little
I
bit.
not as bad as I was the last couple of days, but you probably can hear it in my voice. Definitely not where I normally am. So yeah, it is what it is. Have you gotten sick yet this winter, Patrice? You're probably in sunnier and warmer areas of the United States than a lot of people right now. You have a place in Texas. You have a place in Hawaii. I think you mentioned Utah at some point. That's not so warm. But have you been sick yet this winter? This is my first real sickness of the fall winter.
I have not. I usually uh, don't get sick uh, in the winter. I don't have colds and flu and all of that. I have food poisoning. Things bigger, big things. Not that this is a big thing, but
Wow. I'm not sure if
no,
I
I
would
haven't.
take that trade. Food poisoning versus having the flu or a cold. Well, if I had food poisoning, aside from needing a bucket to throw up into every once in a while, my voice would sound better. So I think I would sound better if I was having food poisoning.
No, you still sound like butter.
Wow. Okay.
You, s-
Really, you cannot tell that I'm sick.
I, you sound a little congested,
Yeah, that's what I
but
thought.
you still sound smooth.
All right. Well,
Audio look.
that's all the plugins. That's the compression and the EQ and the everything else that I do. Yeah.
Did
Whew.
you try any of the steam showers? Did you
Oh
even
yeah,
try?
no. You sent me a message. You were like, "Hey Lee, just like
Hmm.
stand in that hot shower." I always take rather hot showers. I've just enjoy them. I like hot tubs. I like saunas and stuff. So, yeah, I was already doing that. I don't know how to do it other than just make it really hot and stand there. I don't have a bathtub, so yeah, I've been doing that. Feels really nice. But then, after I get out, it's what would be an example? It's like if you're like a football player and you have like a knee problem and you keep getting like injections to numb it. Well, maybe that works for like, a day or a couple of hours, but then like the next day your knee really hurts, right? Which is why you shouldn't do that. I'm just thinking of like a scene from Varsity Blues where a high schooler was doing that. But after I take the steam shower, like I feel better, but then, the rest of the day it creeps back back in. It's sort of like eating. If I eat a hearty breakfast, oh, I'm pretty full. But then come lunch and dinner time, if I don't eat again, well, I'm pretty hungry. So I'm still sick enough that nothing I do is a long term solution. So I think I just need to keep,
Mhm.
working through this. Um, yeah, but all right, whatever. It is what it is. Hot showers are nice and appreciate that tip. Um,
And you can make it a sauna. You didn't read your full message. You can
oh,
go back in there and shut the door, right? Play games on your phone and make your bathroom a sauna. You didn't read the whole see,
no, no, no.
you always read like one sentence maybe, and then that's it.
I mean,
The next sentence was,
the
"You
problem
can
is
make
that
this."
with my bathroom, if I'm not standing, then and I don't want to stand because I don't feel great right now, so I don't just like stand in the bathroom for a long time. I would have to sit on the toilets, and like I don't know how everyone else feels, but like when I sit on a toilet for prolonged periods of time, it doesn't feel great. Toilets are not like lazy boy recliners. They're
You can
pretty.
sit on the floor with your back against the wall.
I feel like
Stretch out your legs a
you
little
have
bit,
not
bring in a
spent
throat
enough time in men's home bathrooms if your first solution is, "Hey, Lee, sit on the floor of your bathroom." I feel like that's a girl's
bring a little
bathroom
throw
solution right there.
blanket.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine's
there's no
clean.
potpourri in my bathroom.
Oh,
There's no
oh boy.
pleasant anything. It's a man's bathroom.
I made you a Wally Mart list. When you're well enough to go to Wally Mart, I made you a list. I'm gonna
I
send it to you.
What's
I've been
Wally
working on
Mart?
it last few days. Walmart.
You call it
Walmart.
Wally Marts?
I do.
Is that a regional thing or
Wally.
is that just a Patrice thing?
That's a Patrice thing. It's always a Patrice thing. Wally. Go to Wally. Anyway, I made you a list of things I want you to get if you don't already have them, in case you decide to get sick again because
Give me
winter is not over,
give
or
me a
next year.
few of those items because in the US where over the counter drugs are like real drugs that you get prescribed in other countries, I have about everything I feel like I could need. So is there anything you feel like I'm missing?
Um, do you have the packets of Thorough Flu? It's a powder,
Yeah,
and you just
you
add
throw it in the
hot
water and
water
it
to
fizzes
it.
up. Yeah.
Yes,
They also have those
you
for
have
like
that?
vitamin
Okay.
C things.
Yes. Mhm. Yes. Okay. So that's good. Um, Vicks cream, not the gel, the
Wait,
white cream, Vicks.
so not Vicks Vapor Rub. There's another kind of Vicks?
Yes, it's a cream, and it comes in more of a tube, and I want you to get that,
So
and use
Vicks Vapor Rub is sort of like Vaseline. It has that consistency, but it is
mhm,
menthol, right? So what's the
right.
tube? What's that? Is that like
It's a white cream. It's the same thing, but it's in a white cream, and they don't usually, any store, usually stock it. So you go up to the pharmacy window and you ask them,
oh
do they
no.
you stock the Vicks
Patrice,
cream?
when I go to Walmart,
I
if I
know,
ever have to
I
talk
know,
to a person, I go to
I know,
Target.
I
If I go
know,
to Walmart and I
I know,
can't
but
find it, I get in my car and I drive to
okay,
Target. So I don't
I
know
know,
if
I know, I know, I know, but I want you to get it any way you can, and they will order it for you. You may even be able to do it online.
what's the
So, but
benefit
anyway,
of the cream versus versus the Vicks Vapor Rub? What's the isn't it the same thing just in cream form?
Yes, a lot now, if you are fine with the, gel, I'll just call it the gel, um, then that's okay, but a lot of people aren't,
Because it's
including my
gooey.
children.
Afterwards, it's sort of
Yes,
like,
and it will ruin your t-shirt. Yeah,
yeah,
it'll
it's
stain your
sort of
t-shirt
like
too.
when kids have, like, sticky candy, it just shows up everywhere around the house. When you put enough Vicks Vapor
Ye
Rub on you, it just rubs off on everything.
Yes.
Do you know
So
what I
I
like to
always
do,
recommend the
Patrice?
cream.
With Vicks Vapor
Mm,
Rub, you're supposed to put it on your chest, right? And then you breathe it.
yes, yes,
I put a little
mhm,
bit around my nostrils. Like,
yes.
why put it on your chest and then wait for it to come up to your nose? I just put a little bit around my nose. It's pretty direct and, oh boy,
Well,
does that feel pretty good.
it's well, it's not just for your no it's supposed to soak into your chest, and open help you open up those lungs. That's what I was trying to tell you with the
No,
steam.
no.
You need to open
Vicks
up y
Vapor Rub does not
yes.
seep into your lungs. No. You put it on your
No, the
chest and then you breathe
menthol,
it in.
oh, okay, Mr. Stubborn.
You see me. You
Anyway,
put it
get the
on
cream
your
and then
chest
put
and
on
it
your
seeps
t-shirt.
into your lungs and it makes your lungs feel better.
I
Wow,
didn't
okay.
I didn't say it I didn't say it seeps into your lungs, but it gives that menthol, you know, opening up your chest. And yes, you put some under your nostrils if you can. Otherwise, you can cup your hands and start breathing, with your hands cupped towards your I'm doing it. Can you
Oh,
tell my
yeah,
voice?
you
I have
take
my
the
hands
jar
cupped.
you
I'm
just
like
take the
showing
jar and
you
hold
through
it
the
up to your
screen.
nose and you just breathe it in. I've done that before. Yeah.
Yes. And then, the little stick you put up your nose, little nose plug thing, as long as you keep it clean. But anyway, that's on your list, the
I'm
Vicks
sorry, what's the thing you put up your nose? I missed that.
the little nose stick. There's a Vicks nose, uh, that you smell. Well, it's white and it's round, it's real smooth.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. It almost
Yeah.
looks like, one of those old nicotine inhalers, but it has, that menthol stuff and you just breathe it in.
Yes, I keep
Yeah.
one, I keep one in my bag, and
Wow, you're
sometimes
an
when I'm driving
addict. You
along, I'll
need your
just
fix.
no, if I just feel a little stuffy. I'm not an addict on anything, but if I feel a little stuffies, then it's in my
Lee,
bag,
I could quit
and I use
anytime.
it.
I'm not an addict. Just makes me feel normal, makes me feel alive, and,
It
doesn't
does
run my
kinda wake
life.
mhm. It does kinda, pep you
No,
up a little bit
I like,
as you're
the those, I wonder if there are other brands, but yeah, those Vicks pen things or whatever you were talking about, those are really nice. You gotta make sure you
yes,
put the lid on because 'cause they'll dry out really quickly. You gotta keep them
yeah,
fresh.
yes. Okay, and so then next on the list, it sounds like you're doing pretty good so far, um, is a nice heating pad, a nice one. And
Oh,
Hamilton
no.
Beach,
No,
and I
no,
know
no. I don't need a heating pad. I'm not cold. Definitely not cold.
I know, but you should have it in your first aid kit. In Hamilton Beach,
I thought we were
Hamil
talking about things for
Hamilton
me
Beach
to feel better now, but you're like, "Lee, also buy a bunch of bandages and, some disinfectant, and,
I have everything. Yeah, I have everything.
you gotta
And
go
buy
out
a
into your
nice one. I
car
have a
and put a nice flashlight and blanket in your trunk in case you drive off,
yes. Oh,
the
oh
road.
gosh. Listen, in Texas, if you don't keep things in your vehicle, you're, I'm gonna say a fool. I was gonna say an idiot, but I'm trying to
But
be
it's
nicer
Texas,
these
so
days.
not only
You're
do you have a flashlight and a blanket and some water and some food, but you also have, like, an M4 carbine or a shotgun because that's the other it's Texas.
I don't carry my guns in my vehicle because 'cause you're not supposed to leave them in your vehicle. So if you're gonna get out, you know, I'm not gonna leave my gun in my vehicle when I'm doing errands or going going somewhere. But anyway, yeah, I have tools. I have some, um, like, hand tools. I have everything. I have everything. You just have to. I mean, things are far and few between. Texas is a big state. You need to have mhm. I've never had a problem,
I
but,
like
I
that.
like
So Texas is a big state, so you got to have a lot of stuff in your car. But if you live in like Rhode Island or like Maryland,
mhm.
you don't have to have anything in your car because you have an accident and there will be someone's house in Rhode Island just like right there. Like
Yes.
there's no rural area
Yes.
of Rhode Island. It's so small. But Texas,
Yes.
this enormous
Oh,
state,
man.
you got to have a lot of stuff in your
Enormous.
car.
Oh, I've been to places. There is no one around but me. Mhm. At 2, 3 in the morning, doesn't matter. 8 o'clock at night, doesn't
I
matter.
think this
There's
must
no one
be
around but me.
this must be where you go at 2 or 3 in the morning to buy your Vicks, pens that you're not addicted to, that are not habit forming. Yeah, you go 2 or 3 in the morning, go find somewhere to buy those. Okay, let's,
Mhm.
reset it. Snooze to bed, I'm Lee. I am pausing every once in a while. I don't know if it's apparent and coughing, very loudly. So I have been doing that throughout the conversation. I don't know if that's apparent or not, but I just wanted to throw that out. That is my current level. I think that that is sustainable. Just try not to cough into the hot mic. But that's sort of where I am is that I sound congested. I definitely am blowing my nose constantly. And then just every once in a while, cough, cough, cough. Um, Thanks for those tips, not only to uh, stay healthy and Vicks up, Vicks Vapor Rub, everything, but all the things you need to have in your car in Texas. Better call Sal. Your hand is up, so I know you have some things to add. Do they have Vicks Vapor Rub in Ireland?
Yes, they of course we do. I was going to suggest I'm going to take Patrice's idea. Oh, they're excellent ideas, but you don't actually have to fill your bathroom with steam. What you can do is boil a kettle or boil some water. I don't know if you use kettles or not. Boil some water, put it in a big bowl, get a towel, put a teaspoon of Vicks Vapor Rub into the boiling water, and get your head into the bowl, obviously not touching the water, and you put the towel over your head and around the bowl, and you can breathe in the Vapor Rub. So you're getting what Patrice was suggesting
No,
with
you're definitely telling me how to get high at home. That sounds awesome. So I'm gonna get
no,
pretty buzzed doing that.
no, it will give you it will free up your sinuses, it will free up your lungs. Believe me, I've done it.
It'll free up your minds. Lee, I can
Yes,
see time now. There's no barriers
you can.
between me and the
You'll be
rest
able
of
to.
humanity.
You'll be able to smell colorly.
Oh,
But
I've
yeah,
heard
it'll
about that.
clear
People who can
smell
what
colors.
yeah, it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's a medical thing where some people can
Oh,
smell colors and like numbers have like a color associated like it's where their senses blend in ways that most people do not experience.
okay. But yeah, we would use what I don't know if you can get it in America or not, but we would use olive oil. Olive oil is a mixture of menthol, eucalyptus, tea tree, and there's a couple of others.
Cocaine.
And it works as well. It's clearing out your sinuses. It will, especially the menthol and the tea tree, will sterilize your air, your lungs, and
Now,
it
I'm a
might
little
help.
worried because Patrice and I were talking a moment ago about how Vicks Vapor Rub like will ruin your shirts and it will get everywhere, which I guess is why the cream is a good option. But the Vicks
Yeah,
Vapor Rub is like Vaseline; it gets everywhere. I'm
yeah.
worried if I put Vicks Vapor Rub in a pot, I'm gonna have to throw that pot away.
No, because it will wash off. If you use boiling water, it's only an oil, so any dish soap should be able to break down the oil. Uh, Um, it should be able to, but if not, get some tea tree oil when you're going down to, what should you call it, Wally Mart?
Yeah, Wally, whatever she called it, that was great. Yeah,
Wally Mart, I think it was. It's a good name.
you definitely don't have Walmart in Ireland, right?
No, it wouldn't work.
What's your Walmart sort of store in Ireland? Every country has
We
something
have
like that.
Tesco's, Lidl, and Aldi, which is
Oh, but Aldi,
greater.
that's like a Walmart. Isn't it just a grocery store? You consider
Yeah,
Aldi like a Walmart?
yeah. Well, it's not just groceries. Um, yeah, but we have. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we would. I remember going to Mexico and discovering a Walmart and going in and thinking, "Oh my God, you can buy everything in
Think
this
of the
place."
savings. So in Ireland, is it that you don't have like a big store that has a pharmacy, clothes, food, auto, all of this stuff? Do you have to go to separate stores to get all those
Yeah, but
things?
they would be in the same complex.
Yeah, so like the same mall, but not the same
Yeah,
store. Okay, that's
yeah.
fair.
But I mean, now in our shops we have clothing and hardware and bedding, and so it's
In the
kind of
US, Walmarts have McDonald's and Subway and banks and sometimes a hair cutting place.
no, not within the store, but yeah, we would have we wouldn't even call them malls. They would just be like one building, and there would be one big shop off that, and you would have a newsagent, barber, hairdresser, chemist.
Oh, you
But
say
they would,
chemist.
yeah, we say chemists because that's what they study in school, is chemistry, not pharmacy. They actually study chemistry.
That's it's interesting
Pharma.
because in the US, I don't know what else they study, but I have a couple friends who are pharmacists. From what I understand, they study basically the interaction of medicines because some people will see so many different doctors, and doctors in the US are so, especially like family general practitioner doctors, they're so pressed for time, they don't really keep track of all the things that are going on in a patient's life. So the idea is that the pharmacist is like the buck stops here. They're going to prevent you from having a heart attack by mixing dangerous drugs, or they're going to prevent you from falling asleep when you're driving your car and killing a family because all of these drugs were interacting. So from what I understand, pharmacists, while they maybe learn other things as well, the real important thing that they become experts in is, yeah, like Patrice was saying, you go up to the pharmacy window in a Walmart, and then you say, hey, where's that Vicks cream that you guys don't stock normally? I want the good stuff, damn it. But their main thing is that they're trying to tell you how to not kill yourself and how to not really F yourself up by taking all these different drugs. Is that not what chemists do in Ireland?
Yeah, it would be similar. Yeah, yeah. And often they will run ad campaigns in Ireland saying that you don't necessarily need to go to the doctor for every sniffle. Go to the chemist or pharmacist
Oh, yeah, because they'll just hand you
because
some
you're
cough syrup
blocking up.
or something.
Yeah, it might just be as simple as a cough. And um, yeah, I mean chemists are often trained in phlebotomy, so they can take bloods and things like that.
Oh, yeah, I don't we have a lot of convenience clinics,
Mm.
where you can go to, like, a Walgreens or a CVS, and they'll have, like, a nurse practitioner or maybe a general, what do you call the GP? General, yeah, general practitioner, like your internist, and you can see them like without an appointment, and it's really helpful for people who have kids because you could like bring your kid in at 7 in the morning before they go to school, which would be hard to do at like a doctor's office. But those people are like nurses and doctors. The pharmacists, I've never seen pharmacists um, do blood or anything. The one exception is since COVID, pharmacists now seem to be people who can just give you many different kinds of vaccines. That was not something I ever saw before COVID. It's sort of just become that way. You used to have to go to a doctor to get like vaccinations, but I think you can get a lot of them now just by pharmacists. But in Ireland, you're telling me that like you can get blood drawn and stuff by pharmacists, by chemists.
Yeah, and you don't have to go to your general practitioner for flu shots. No, I don't. I've never had a flu shot. I've never had the flu.
Oh
Uh,
no. Oh, so you like RFK Jr. then?
no, not quite. I was one of the first up to look for the vaccine for myself and my son. I've just never had a flu shot. Never
But when you go to the
needed one.
doctor in the US, I've been asked several times by different doctors, like, "Hey, you want a flu shot?" They're usually pretty like, "Hey, get a flu shot." No one does
No,
that in Ireland?
my doctor would not suggest that to me. My doctor knows that I'm very aware of what goes into my body.
See, but
Um,
that's why I made the RFK Jr. reference. There's nothing wrong with the flu shot.
no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me.
I
I've
don't
never had the
understand.
flu. It's just it isn't something that I need. I don't get sick, says the woman that had a stroke 4
Well,
weeks ago. But
a
that's
stroke is not a
it's
flu,
not
but
illness. No.
I just don't understand, like, if you're not afraid of vaccines, why wouldn't you just especially as you get older and you've had, like, a major event like a stroke, your immune system is not gonna be as strong as it was, recovering from any sort of if you get in a car accident or if you get shot or if you have a stroke, right? Um,
Yeah,
you should just because you haven't gotten the flu doesn't mean you won't get the flu.
this is true, but I haven't yet. I haven't had the flu. My kids haven't either. I haven't even had COVID, Lee.
Well, you don't know that. The majority of people who had COVID didn't have symptoms or had very low level symptoms. So,
Yeah, no,
you definitely don't know if you've never had COVID.
well,
And
that's
my
true,
guess is
but
the flu could be something similar. Like you don't have to be as sick as me or like super sick to probably have the flu.
yeah, but I don't even get coughs and colds. I just don't, and even when my kids would bring them home from school, I think I've always been really careful with hand washing, and I looked after both of my parents that suffered with cancer, and I became very aware of what it was to be hygienic, and I'm, uh, yeah, I'm slightly, well, no, I am. It's not slightly at all. I am OCD, and it's just not something that I'm going to allow to happen.
Do your when your kids were growing up and you were in charge of them, did they get flu shots?
No, they don't give flu out. They don't give out flu shots in Ireland like that. I
I
suppose if
not
I
even I
asked
don't
for
have
them,
kids, so I'm not even sure if they do in the United States. But I
yeah,
mean,
I
like,
think you have to ask
if
for
you were
them.
in charge of someone now for some reason who was 30 and maybe they had like diminished mental capacities, so someone who was like, mentally retarded or I don't know, maybe they were in a car accident and they're never quite the same. So you're their legal guardian. I'm just trying to imagine a scenario. And for
Yeah,
whatever reason, the doctor was like, "Oh, hey, let's get you a flu shot." Would you be like, "No," or would you be
no. If
okay
I
with
was
it?
looking, if I was somebody's carer in that situation, I would to protect my patient. I would. I'm not against it in any way. I just have never needed a flu shot.
No,
I'm
that's interesting. I don't know if that makes sense from a medical standpoint, especially as you get older. So I would
Mhm.
encourage you if what it sounds like you're actually not against it, you just think, why would I get it?
No,
I don't need it. I don't know that that's going to hold out the rest of your life. So
yeah, probably
I would
not, but,
consider rethinking that because it sounds like you're not crazy about it like RFK Jr. or some other people. So,
oh god, no. No. But, no, I'm not anti-vax. I'm certainly not anti-vax. I was first in the queue. I'm like, "Come on, get me in." Um,
but
but,
you were in Ireland, so did you get one of those weird ones? So not
no, god, no, I got Pfizer, baby. Pfizer all the
oh,
way.
okay,
I
because
held on
they were
for
giving out the was it the
the
Oxford
Moderna one.
no,
Yeah,
Pfizer or
Moderna.
Moderna no, sorry, Moderna and what were the MR I used to know this, like, as
I
we say,
know.
the back of my hand,
Yeah.
but it's been so long. It was
Um,
definitely Moderna and,
Moderna was only given to people over 50 years of age.
maybe in Ireland, that was not the case in the United States. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
think,
and
so
then there was one that was,
Moderna
there was
was the mRNA, and the other one was
it's awful, isn't it? But there was the Pfizer one was accepted from 0 all the way up to adulthood, and Moderna was given from 50 years plus, and then there was a third one.
yes.
There was a lot of people
I
that
don't know
had a
why
lot
I thought that was
adverse
incorrect, but
reaction.
you were absolutely right. Pfizer and
Yeah,
Moderna were the
yeah,
original mRNA vaccines,
mhm,
but I know that there was one, uh, uh,
yeah, there was one that was
around
taken
the
off.
UK that was,
Yeah.
we had one that was like that as well. It was the Johnson& and Johnson, but I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
our side effects from that were not as bad as the ones that you had, um but whatever the case, you got the good stuff, so that's fine. Okay, so you're not super into the flu vaccine, but you got all the COVID stuff. Patrice, do you get flu vaccines?
I do. I do. And I can't even remember how long ago I've had uh, the flu or a bad cold. Every once in a while, I get the sniffles, but that's about it. I don't. I, I am very. I don't even remember the last year I was sick. I don't know. I just tend to get bigger things. Like I had my gallbladder out. Um,
Now, will you remind me, is the gallbladder something you don't need, but they don't take it out unless it's like inflamed?
mhm. Ye Yeah, you don't need it. I It's from eating. I was very young. My oldest son was 5 months old, and it was all the previous years of eating very, uh, fatty food. Uh, um, I just went blank. Drive-through, Jack in the Crack was our
Jack in the
go-to.
Crack. Okay. So it's Jack in the Box, but it's addictive like crack. I thought maybe the
Oh,
reason you
it
had to
is.
get your gallbladder removed was because of all that Vicks vapor rub you were injecting into your body. But okay, you think it's the fast food. And so it's that sort of joke where your gallbladder is going to explode like a hand grenade. So they have to get it out of there, right?
Yes, yes, mine was really bad. Um And I didn't get I don't know the scope, whatever that is, how people do it now, and you're in and out. Um, so he said, and then when I woke up and I was in excruciating pain. Um, they actually cut me open, and I had a very, like, diagonally, like, right at the top of my rib cage, diagonally down, I would say, to the middle of my tummy. Mhm. I was on morphine and the whole bit because
So,
I
yeah,
guess
not
it
like
was so
those
infected.
surgeries now where they go in with, like, a camera and, like,
Yes.
tiny scissors and
Mhm.
knives and stuff. They cut you up, and
Mhm.
they went in and grabbed that gallbladder.
Yes. I had 30 gallstones, and it was so infected, it was
Oh,
just
okay, I've
like
heard of kidney stones. I didn't know
ew.
you could get stones in your gallbladder.
Yes. Mhm. It started off, where I was, in pain, when I ate, like a weird pain, and then it got to be, where I couldn't eat, and I was living on milk, and then it,
Jesus.
yeah.
You didn't, like, go
So
to the
then
doctor? You
I
just were living off of milk for, like, a
well,
couple of months?
y yeah, um, a couple of weeks, and then I went to the doctor, and he said and I did that GI test, and, he said, "Okay, well, we're sending you across to the hospital to St. Joe's right now. You're going right now, and we're going to take this out, immediately." And I said, "Oh, no, 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 I have a baby. I need to make arrangements. I can't do that." And he said, "You know, we'll make some phone calls and get your baby taken care of because you need to go right now." I said, "No, no, no." So he said, "Okay, well, I'm going on a fishing trip in a week, and I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And you will end up in the emergency room in a couple of days if you don't go now. And again, I'm leaving in a week." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll see what I can do and make some arrangements
You're
and
like, "Hey,
give you a
doc,
call."
I just bought a bunch of
Yeah, I'll
milk.
give you
I
a call.
gotta go home and drink all this milk before you take my
Mhm,
gallbladder out and I can eat solid foods again."
mhm. So I did. I went, and then one morning, it was like maybe 2 days later, I was eating a donut and chocolate milk in my car going to work, and it was not good. It wasn't good. So I pulled over
Wow,
and
Patrice, I
called
didn't
him,
realize
and
you
he
were
said,
a police officer. You were drinking milk and eating a donut on the way to work. Wow. One of the proud women in blue.
Yes. So I pulled over and called, and he said, "I'll meet you in the ER."
Was he, like, laughing
And
maniacally? "I'll meet you in the
yep.
ER?"
Oh, yeah. Yes. I have always ended up with really good doctors that I like them, they like me, and they have a sense of humor. And so, yes, he was laughing. So then I went in the ER, and they weren't thrilled about the donut and chocolate milk before surgery, but
Oh, yeah,
nobody
because 'cause
had
you're
a
supposed to,
choice
like,
at that
fast,
point.
right? Yeah.
So, yeah, so I had it out, and I don't have the scar anymore. I used the bio oil, and, so but it took a good long time. I'd say, I don't know, 12 years for that scar to go away, and now you can't see it. You'd never know I had a scar, but it took about 12 years, but I use that bio oil, and that
Bio
works really
oil.
good. But yes, when women are pregnant, if you use the bio oil, um, you won't have very much many stretch marks or any. I
So you
have
just
none.
rub that on your skin, some sort of oil.
It's called bio oil. It's very, very expensive, but it works.
But bio, like, what does that mean?
Bio, biological oil.
Yeah, yeah, but bio is not like an ingredient. So if it was like fish oil, or if it was like um, some sort of cooking oil, like, okay, I know what that's made of. What's bio oil made of?
I think it has. I'd have to look. I don't really remember because I don't. I have no reason to really use it anymore. But the oil, when you have oil, the molecules have to be small enough to penetrate, or it's useless. So,
You got to get that
but
really
I mean, I can look it
tiny
up.
oil. So I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows everything. So I'm sharing this over on
Okay,
Twitch and
because I was
Rumble.
just looking it
And then,
up.
hey, is that Reggie? Reggie requests to speak if
It
you're
is.
on break. He always listens, but he can only talk when he's on break. The bio oil commonly used by pregnant women is bio oil skincare oil. That doesn't help anymore, but okay. It contains a mix of plant oils like lavender, rosemary, and chamomile, and vitamins like vitamin E, in an oil based formula designed to improve skin elasticity and hydration. Many women apply it to their
Yes,
belly, thighs, and breasts during pregnancy. Yeah, they
yes,
do. To minimize the
mhm,
appearance of stretch marks. It's best to use early in pregnancy and to continue
yes,
postpartum for best results. But you use
mhm.
this
I
oil
don't have any.
just for like scars.
Oh, yes. Mhm. Yeah, it really does, it really does work, does. I don't have stretch marks, and you'd never
But like
know that I had
if you had like a 10-year
gallbladder
old who
surgery.
like skinned up his knee in a bike accident, would you be like,
Mhm.
all right, Billy, let's get that bio
Yes,
oil skincare oil on you? Yeah.
yes, or Aquaphor. Aquaphor, for, like, skinned up knees, you wanna do Aquaphor like you get with, your tattoos that you should be putting on fresh tattoos. But I use Aquaphor all the time. Now that's another
With
thing you
fresh
can get.
tattoos,
You can
don't
get
they wrap it
Aquaphor.
up in plastic wrap now? Every time I see someone with a tattoo that has just been done, they have like plastic wrap, like you'd wrap a sandwich in.
Yes, yes, but you put the Aquaphor on, the gel on first, and then you wrap it in the Saran, but then you wanna take the Saran off after 24 hours. You don't wanna leave that on. And then keep the you just keep the uh, Aquaphor on it for about a
I
week,
gotta say, hey
every day you
Patrice,
put.
you've probably had a long, successful career, but I think you missed your calling. You should have been a dermatologist.
Well, I'm a licensed cosmetologist,
Now,
so,
what does that
uh,
mean? Is that like by state? Like I think like New York State, you have to be licensed to do like massages, but maybe not in like Idaho. So what's a licensed cosmetologist mean?
that means that I was licensed in the state of California.
Oh, that was probably
So,
legit then.
I
They really do licensure in California.
oh, they yes, it used to be under Consumer Affairs, and they ran the whole show, but then they moved it out of that, and I'm not sure what department even handles it anymore. But anyway, I'm licensed to touch, um, anyone's body
Yeah,
from
you
head
are.
to toe.
Yeah.
So, you better believe it. So,
So what does that mean? Like pedicures, manicures, some sort of like
skin
oil treatment? Like,
massages, everything.
Oh, so
So that covers that's
cosmetologists
the
can give
umbrella.
massages.
Everything. Hair, makeup,
So you
hair
could cut
color,
someone's hair,
curves.
do like a facial,
Mhm.
like you could
Yes.
if like a girl was going to prom, you could like do all that.
Yes. Anything, any part of the body you're licensed to work on.
Could you like cut
Where
someone's
you can
mole off?
no, no. Just facials and massages and you know, derma things, but not like a dermatologist. Not like that.
Have you ever done
Oh
cupping?
yeah.
Do you know what that is? It's kind of become popular
I
with some
do.
athletes.
Yes. Hmm.
Have you ever performed cupping on somebody? You like
Yes.
light a
Yes.
you like light a fire on the cup so it sucks up the oxygen, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yes, the cups are heated.
Oh, okay, so there's no
We didn't
fire.
use
It's just hot.
no. It is hot. Like hot wax, like waxing somebody. I've waxed men before.
Oh,
Do you
waxing. Yeah,
manscape?
that's something you could do. So you could wax like eyebrows, right?
Mhm.
Wow.
Underarms, Brazilian, yes, back. You manscape?
Back. She has a really bad opinion of me. She's like, "Yeah, Lee, you like need you sound like you have a really hairy back. You need some like help with that." I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I like just like a haircut for your head. I like keeping things trimmed, but I don't as opposed to going to um, a not a salon that's for women, a haircut place. I don't go to a barber shop because I don't need to go to like a barber shop with a leather thing and a straight razor. But when I go get my haircut, that's the only thing that gets quote unquote professionally done. Everything else I just own, like electric razors. I've never gotten my
Yes.
eyebrows done. I've never gotten anything waxed. I've never gotten anything. No, no, no.
Do you think you would be able to tolerate waxing?
Um,
Uh, uh, uh,
if I could get a little high beforehand, yeah. Does it hurt?
mhm. Yes. Your first couple of times. I mean, I you have to have a good technique. Like you have to pull the skin, lay the wax on, and then you pull the strip um, off um, against the grain, so it comes off. I mean, you have to practice to be good at
How does
waxing.
it work? So I've never waxed anything, but at a certain point, aren't you like pulling the hair follicle out? Like it always grows back?
That's the point. Very good. Excellent. Yes, that's exactly what you want to do.
So if I got like a certain part of my body waxed a couple of, several times, by like the fifth
Mhm.
or sixth time, there would just be less hair that grows there.
Yes. Very good, Lee.
And so
Very
if you're
good.
a
Yes.
woman and you get your legs waxed regularly, at a certain point, can you just stop doing that? Like after 15 years of doing that, is there just no hair left?
Um, I mean, you may have a little. I don't know if you want to do it for 15 years. I mean, there's some skin involved here.
Uh,
I
okay, so
had I
you
had a
only you
friend.
only get waxed because you're gonna um go on a honeymoon. Like there's a reason. Like people just don't
Yeah.
get waxed normally.
No, they do. Like a lot of women will uh I mean, I've done it. I mean, I've done everything. Their armpits, it's a smaller area, but the legs are, that's a large area. And so, I mean, you do it a few times and you have much less hair, and then you can shave them real quick.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good point. So if you have less hair, your typical
Mhm.
methods become more useful.
Yeah, I wax my eyebrows, and then you don't have to, at this point, I don't really have to do them all that much. I trim them up. Yeah. You Brazilian wax for women.
Do they if
That's
for
it's
some reason a guy wanted that, is it also called a Brazilian for a guy, or is it called like a Colombian or something?
that's a good one. No, I mean, Brazilian's Brazilian.
It just means getting waxed down
It
there.
it just means getting waxed down there.
And is a
Guys
Brazilian, like,
too.
completely hairless, or, like, if you have, like, a landing strip, is that called a Brazil what's a Brazilian mean?
It depends on what you want.
So it just
I
means getting
I
waxed down there, but you can decide what that means, and it's still a quote unquote
sure,
Brazilian.
sure, you can decide. Some people have like um, they'll leave a heart or something.
Yeah, well, it was just Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
mean,
do
you
a
see it all.
Valentine's Day show. Yeah, we should have done a Valentine I don't know what the news would have been. Well, we could have done hot takes. That's a good point. We're live over on
Yeah,
stereo. Got some
so
people listening over there. Feel free to leave us some messages. It's a hot take show, so we can talk about anything. I have a poll up there right now, just generally over on stereo because we always have polls. I'm interested nowadays what people think about Donald Trump. We don't have to go into this if people don't want to, but I got to say, as someone who does not like Donald Trump and does not like Republicans in general, I'm I'm pretty impressed with the speed at which Donald Trump's administration has worked. And say what you will about him and Republicans, this time around, so his second term, I mean, the swamp has been drained. Like, it's not a swamp anymore. Like, this is a dry land at this point. I mean, like, he's firing everybody. He's sending people out of the country who shouldn't be here. I don't necessarily need all these federal workers fired, but to be completely honest, I know a lot of people who work for the government, and their jobs are really secure. And while technically they may be making less than if they worked in the private sector, that's generally sort of the the, the trade off with being a public employee. Their jobs are very, very unlosable. They do not get fired. And I just got to say, it's a little refreshing to see all these people who work for the government getting fired because that's usually not the case. So even though I don't need that, even the stuff I disagree with, I got to say, like, I'm impressed with his ability to get shit done. So that's my pullover on stereo. Option one, I think Trump's doing a good job thus far, or number two, he's not doing a good job. But we haven't even gotten to any news hot takes. We're just talking about Brazilian waxes. Seems to be on me. So, Patrice, are you still a cosmetologist in the state of California, or has that license lapsed? It's like you're still muted, Patrice. She might be off doing a wax on a client, and that's why she cannot jump back in.
I'm so sorry. I hit one speaker, unmuted one speaker and not the other.
I think you
Um,
must be sniffing that Vicks pen right now. Yeah.
I keep my license up, so I think it's every 5 years you have to renew it.
And
You don't
what
want it
does
to
that
lapse.
mean? You pay a fee, you have to take a class.
Yeah, you just pay a fee. No, you just pay a fee. Now, if you change states and you're going to actually practice in a salon or a spa or a wellness center, like, for example, Texas is required more hours than California. So you have to go back to school and make up those hours.
Texas requires
Let's
more
say three.
hours than California.
Yes.
I never would have
I
guessed
think they're
that.
at 21 or 2,200. So you have to make up that difference. Um, but now I just build salons, day spas, and wellness centers. So I'm not standing behind a chair anymore. So, but yes, from state in New York, I think Texas is higher than New York.
That's also
So you can
surprising.
move, but they have a probation. Yes, they have a probationary period where you can get hired and work, um, or work for yourself, which is 1,000% better. Um, but you have to make up those hours. They're not going to actually give you a brand new state license without it. So, and then you will have to take the test. You will have to go in with a model. You will do the written test and then you will do the practical test on your
So you
model,
go in
especially
with
with chemicals.
like a body dummy, and you gotta, like, rub it up and
No, a live
Brazilian
person,
wax
a
it?
live person, a live person. And they use shave cream for the chemicals.
So
Like
so
you have,
there's a job out there where I can get paid to let cosmetologists who are trying to get their license to prove that they know how to do things.
usually it's a friend and they're not going to pay you. Do it as a favor to your friend. They'll bring a family member or a friend as their
But then,
model.
like, someone from the state government watches you with a clipboard and makes sure you do it
Oh,
all correctly.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Application.
And how long does that
Because you're
take?
dealing in chemicals. Hours, 2 hours. There's a
So,
break in
like,
between the written
I
and the
I could
practical.
walk in the room sort of looking like a hobo with, like, a big beard, bushy eyebrows, a real hairy back, and then I walk out looking like David Hasselhoff. Like, you'll just couple hours.
Yes.
Wow. That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yes. Yeah. And it's strict and it's all timed. Like, you don't get all day. Okay, the written
Oh, so
test is
this is like
timed
Hell's Kitchen
and
or something. So they're
yes.
they have a clock that's
Yes.
ticking down.
Yes, and there are people that don't pass, and they have to, um, pay again and come back within, like, 6 weeks, register to take another test within
So
6
how does
weeks,
that
and
work? So if your license lapses or you don't pass or if you just don't get a
mm,
license, is it illegal for you to do those things? Like, do you
oh,
get
yes.
fined? Do you go to jail?
Oh, yes, both. Oh, you can. There's a lot of problems in San Diego, for example, a lot of unlicensed. There's a couple cases going on right now, and they've hurt people. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Just like oh, what do you call it when people get, like they get the fat sucked out of their thighs and
Oh, liposuction.
plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
there's
once in
a
a while,
lot
a
of that going on in
celebrity,
San Diego.
which makes no sense because they have the most money. Every once in a while, a celebrity gets like a bad liposuction doctor, and their body goes all crazy. So
Yes.
okay, so as a cosmetologist who's done this and still has your license that you've kept up on, and that covers massages, which I did not know. So thank you for letting me know about that. Tell me about Thai massage places. I've never been in one. Like, I would admit it. I've just never been in one. I assume every Thai massage place I see, if I walk in and I'm really persistent, I could probably bang the bejesus out of somebody. Is that really
Yes.
the case?
Yes. It is. It is. They just shut a couple of them down in San Antonio. Mm. Yeah, it's
But it's
yes,
specifically
it is
Thai
definitely
massage.
the
So if
storefront.
there's a massage store, I don't know what the massage part, what do you call massage business?
Massage Envy, you could go to Massage Envy is a chain. You
No, no,
should
no, but
have
what
one
would you,
around.
like a convenience store is 7-Eleven. What would you call that type of business? It's not a
The
massage
Thai?
store. What do you call it? A
Oh,
massage?
oh, I don't know, massage place, like
Okay,
Massage
massage
Envy.
place. Real technical term. Thank you. So
Massage
when you see a
yeah,
massage
just a massage.
place, is it that any massage place could be good or could be bad, but is it specifically that the Thai massage places are the prostitution ones?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, well,
And why
yes,
has
I'll
that
say yes.
happened?
Well, it's just a front.
Yeah, 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 but
I
I mean,
mean,
like,
that's
you're telling me there's no, like, Chinese massage places? Like, why is that not
oh,
the
I'm
one where
sorry,
people
I
do
see
all the
what you're
banging?
saying.
Why is it the Thai
I
one?
see. They're not all Thai. I see what you're saying now. They're not all Thai.
But if you see one that
But
says Thai massage like that, that's where you go for banging.
well, yeah, with the, all those the electric signs, massage 24 hours
Yeah, yeah.
in the window,
It looks like a
yeah.
motel sign, yeah.
Yes. Yes, a Red Rush. Red Rush Motel.
And
Yes.
so that's just
So,
the
yeah.
thing. That's not only a stereotype, that's a thing.
Mhm. But, there have been licensed massage therapists or ones that were suspended, working on a suspended license, uh, that have been accused of sexual assault. It's just
Well, right now, I think it's the kicker for
it
the
is what it is.
Ravens. He is the most recent, rich, famous athlete to be accused of sexual
Mm,
misconduct, whatever that means, specifically with massage women. Apparently, he's a guy who
I
likes
think
massages, and a bunch of people have come out and said that he, wanted a little bit more. But there are countless examples where people had multiple people coming out against them, and it turns out it was all made up. So I feel bad for the guy because at the very least, there's no trial, there's no evidence. It's just people saying like, "Hey, he did this," and I wouldn't be surprised if he does get released by the Ravens at some point. But there have been college athletes, there have been professional athletes in the NBA and the NFL, you name it, who have been kicked off the team, gotten in lots of trouble, and then it turns out was completely falsified, no wrongdoing whatsoever. I'm not saying that this is him, um, but it's a little confusing because he's so rich. If he wanted to go to a massage place and do some banging, I feel like he could find a place where the women would not complain because they would expect that's what the guy was wanting. So it just seems weird to me that he would, I don't know, maybe that's the how he gets his jollies
yes.
is he wants to go to, like, a legit massage place and, like, conquer the professional massage women who are not into banging, but it just seems weird.
Yeah. It is weird. That is odd. But, if you want if there's any concerns, couple massagers are great, and you can go, it doesn't have to be, a partner.
Did you
2
say
girls,
couple
2 women can go
massages?
to couple
So you
where
just
you're getting
go with
a
your
massage.
your romantic partner and or friend, and you just get rubbed up while you're talking to each other?
Yes. Yeah, they're fun.
That does not sound like my idea of fun. Hey, Bill, how's the wife and kids? Greatly. What about you? Got no wife, got no kids. Okay, fantastic. How's how's your ladies' hands?
Girls go
Mine are a bit
together.
rough. Mine are very very soft. So I'm sorry that your ladies not as good as mine. I don't know if that I, I would. Do you talk? I would be
You don't
confused. Like
have
it's sort of
to.
like when you're at a urinal standing next to another
Oh
guy.
boy.
Even if it's
No.
someone you know,
No.
usually you don't
There's
talk.
no party. There's no body parts hanging out. You're covered in sheets and towels. Girls go together all the time just for that exact reason. Or they request a female massage therapist. Like if we went together, I wouldn't have any problem with a female massage therapist giving you a massage.
I just I
And I don't have a problem with a male giving me a massage.
I just don't see the value, like, things to do with a romantic partner and or friend. Go to a baseball
Oh my
game,
gosh,
share a
there's
meal,
no value.
take
There's no
a
value.
road trip together. Um,
Okay, here we go. Here we
talk to
go.
them while you're going to the bathroom. That's okay. It's not really. There's no value there. While you're getting, rubbed with oil and stuff, like look into each other's eyes or comment on sports and the weather. Like, no way. I don't see a value there.
I just started. It's well, instead of going separately, it saves time. You're going together.
But
Just a couple's
couldn't you
massage.
both get massages but in separate rooms
You
and
can,
at the same
but
time?
what's the
So once
point of
again,
that?
what's the benefit
What
if it's a romantic partner? I, especially as a man, I guess I would, given the option, not be opposed to watching my loved one getting a massage so I could make sure everything was okay, but it's not like a pressing concern. Um, I think I'd rather just go to Jack and the Crack and just share a meal.
you could do that too. I'll take 2
Reggie and
tacos.
Better Call Sal, you're with us over on Twitter Spaces. Would you ever get a couples massage? So you're getting a massage at the same time, or would you go to a massage place with a friend and just get a massage at the same time in the same room? I would never
No,
ever consider that. Yeah, Better Call
no,
Sal? That's a
I
no?
that's just a hard no. No. Um, I don't know why, but no. I mean, unless maybe you were on holidays, I'd no. If there was a couple's massage, it would be just me and him.
I think the only way that this makes sense is if there was like a discount. So it's like
Oh,
Valentine's Day, and if you both come in and only use one room at the same time, it's half off. Then okay, I see the value. But if
yeah.
it's just paying for massages, I don't. Yeah.
No, no, I couldn't do that. No,
Do you have Thai
but yeah,
massage places in Ireland?
no.
Oh, you don't?
We have like beauticians who do all round basic beauty work, and I would go and get a massage there.
But I mean,
Um,
like, is Thai massage a thing? Like, is there any business window that you would see in Ireland on a somewhat consistent basis where it said Thai massage as opposed to like a
I
Swedish massage or I don't know what other kind of massages there are.
Well, you can get sports massages, which would be like more physiotherapy and um, muscle relaxant and things like that. But yeah, I suppose it'd be called a sports massage. Um, but no, if I was to just relax, I would, I would just go to my beautician, and unless I was all knotted, I get quite knotted in my shoulders. It's where I carry my stress. Oh, and in my brain.
So it sounds like beautician is sort of like cosmetologist in the US because Patrice is a licensed cosmetologist and she's kept up that license. And
Okay.
I didn't realize this, but like in California and Texas, a cosmetologist can do everything from waxing to massages to pedicures, manicures. So that's like a beautician in Ireland.
Yeah, that's what we would call a beautician.
And you know, is
And
that all licensed? Like you couldn't just
yeah,
open up a beautician store?
no, you have to have. I mean, some of them have degrees. Um, well, most of them have degrees actually. But yeah, it's all very above board and um. When you said Thai massages, and don't kick me out, are you talking about the happy ending type of
Yeah,
Thai?
because
No.
I think you missed this. You popped in and out of the room. I was asking
Mm.
Patrice. I've had a couple massages in my life, but I've never been to a Thai massage place, and they're all over the United States. And it's specifically Thai massage. I'm not sure if the people there are actually Thai. I think they're Asian. That usually is the case in the United States. It's very like nail places are Asians and massage places are Asian. A lot of dry cleaning as well. But I was asking Patrice, I was like, I think those places are just happy ending. Like, you know, if I want to bang someone and get a massage, I would go to a Thai massage place. And she was like, oh yeah, no, that's totally what they are. But you don't have that sort of clear happy ending massage place in Ireland.
As far as I know, no, but it's still very illegal here. So you couldn't even, I mean, unless it's very secret or you know your masseuse really well, I don't think it would be
You have to
appropriate.
have a trusting relationship with your masseuse if you want a happy ending
Hmm.
in Ireland. Okay,
And
good to know.
I'm not particularly interested in a happy ending. That's not exactly what I go for a massage for. But women are built different to men.
No, that's a good point. I assume anywhere in the world, if people are looking for a happy ending with a massage, it's 99 men and one kinky lady. Yeah, good point.
Yes,
Uh,
Lee, I would agree with you there.
Reggie has tweeted no to both. So for couples massages or friend massages, he says, I'm not a massage person. I've had a couple and didn't feel better afterwards. Patrice, why did Reggie have a bad experience with massages? The few I've had, I always felt great afterwards. Still muted over here, Patrice. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Um, he had a terrible massage therapist then. I mean, they're not all qualified. You should have felt better. Just your basic massage will, you know, to be your muscles should feel less tight and better and less toxic. That's my favorite is the massages, the toxology ones, where the oils actually help get toxins out of your muscles. And afterwards, you're kind of nauseous. Then just feel great.
So this is like when you were
But
saying you
anyway,
put Vicks Vapor Rub on your chest and it seeps into your lungs and helps your lungs. So
yes.
there's other oil that they can use during massages that you think removes toxins from your body.
From your muscles, and it actually makes you, I mean, you'll feel your stomach rumbling, and, towards, I'd say 3/4 of the way through, towards the end, you'll feel nauseous. I mean, pretty nauseous,
Well,
and then
I
you
think
just
maybe that's why Reggie didn't have a very good time if he got one of those toxin removal ones. I don't want to feel nauseous.
well, you do because it's working if that's what you need to release toxins in your muscles, but people usually know, you know, about that, you know, that's what it does. It's it's expensive, and if it's done right, it does work,
I looked this up
and
on
the nausea doesn't.
ChatGPT. Lymphatic
Okay.
drainage massage is a
Yes.
technique specifically designed to move lymph fluid. Sounds like a great band name, lymph fluid, which can help reduce
Mhm,
swelling and improve circulation. Some believe
mhm.
this is the body's natural detox process. So that's the the jury's out on that one.
Oh my goodness. You feel fantastic afterward. The nausea doesn't last, um, I would say maybe 20 minutes, and
Reggie,
you'll
I think you
feel it
should give
while
this
you're
another try.
in
You're
the
only going to feel nauseous for 20 minutes afterwards. Come on, give this another try, Reggie.
But there's
Reggie
all types of
tweets,
massages. I mean,
he says he didn't have a bad time. He just feels like it didn't help. Oh, okay. I'm
well, I would
intrigued.
say then he didn't have, the
You
right
didn't have
massage
Patrice do it.
therapist.
That's for sure.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's correct.
Every
That's
massage
correct.
I've ever had, I felt great afterwards. I don't know if it
Mhm.
lasted like a chiropractor in theory, like they're supposed to help you in a way that improves your pain or whatever you're trying to do with a chiropractor. Um, I've just always felt like a
A lot of
million bucks afterwards.
Yes, but you have to get them on a semi-regular basis. What's nice is, a lot of chiropractors will employ a massage therapist in their office. And so you can go to the chiropractor and get a massage. And so what and you can just go in for a massage at your chiropractor's office. So that's a nice setup to have that for people. That's a real nice setup. Mhm.
Back to Better Call Sal. Yeah, you have your hand up. You have more hot takes on massages.
Yeah. Um, some people just don't like to be touched. And I agree with the lymphatic drainage. I body brush every day. And the easiest way to test and see if your lymph nodes are clogged.
Let's rewind that a little bit. So you said body brush. So is that just
Yes. So
like
it's
having like some sort of um uh not like not like a sponge to clean your kitchen, but some sort of like
it's it yeah, it
hard
I have
material that scrapes stuff off your body?
yeah, I have two. One is quite soft and the other is a little bit harder. And one of them is long handled and the other is short handled. And what you do is you brush all the way up from the soles of your feet up to the front of your feet, up your legs, and it's all going up your body. And the easiest way to test if your lymph nodes are clogged. Everybody in the room, hands up if your armpit is out. So if you have a dip in your armpit, then your lymph nodes are fine. If you have your armpit is raised, then your lymph
You
nodes are
mean
clogged.
so when you so I'm doing this now. So if I put my
Yeah,
arm in my
all
armpit
the way up,
and it what do you mean all the way up? I don't under
all the way, literally straight up, parallel with your shoulder.
you mean put my arm up like it's pointing to the ceiling?
Yeah,
And
and if you're
if my armpit goes in because it's like a fold, then it's
well,
okay. But you're saying if it sticks out like a
if
pimple or
it sticks
something, then
out,
it
yeah, then your lymph nodes are blocked. And at the moment, my lymph nodes are blocked. But I
I
think
don't
that could be a lot of the medicines that are going through my body at the moment.
I've certainly
Um,
had different medical issues throughout my life, but I can't ever remember my armpit sticking out. That
well,
seems
you
kind of
see, and this is the thing with both men and women. Um, Often it's the lymph nodes in the armpit that are removed when breast cancer is detected because
yeah,
it
that
has
was
spread
the
to
Angelina Jolie years ago.
yeah.
She found out she had the genetic likelihood of getting breast cancer, so they tore everything out, her armpits, cut off her breasts, did all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But the lymph nodes, so they reduce. So if you're inflamed or you carry a lot of water or anything like that, that's all your lymphatic
Lee,
system.
are you inflamed? Do you carry a lot of water around with you?
Um, and it's. I mean, it's as important a system as your blood or your muscles or
But
anything
let's
else
get
like that.
back to this body brush. I like that. I do something similar.
Yep. Before you
I
have a
like
shower.
scraping like my body. It feels really good. But
Mm-hmm.
that helps with your lymphatic system. That was the
Lymphatic,
point
and
I
you
didn't
need to drink
understand.
loads of clear water afterwards.
Say that again about
Uh,
water. What was that?
just ordinary, just plain water.
You drink it?
Yeah, afterwards. But because your lymphatic system is wide awake after you've body brushed. And it's really good for your skin as well. I mean, you have to accept that your skin is the largest organ in your body. So everything you put on your skin is being absorbed into your body. And we're back to the Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah, goes
Um,
straight into your lungs, right, Patrice? Yeah, straight to your lungs.
um, and I just body brush every day, every single day.
Uh-oh, what was
um,
that? What was that cough there, Better Call
I
Sal?
just coughed
Oh,
because I
no.
swallowed the wrong way, Lee. I'm
Oh,
fine.
okay. All right.
I'm getting
It sound
sick.
like maybe this could be
And
your first flu symptom.
if I'm getting sick, I'm catching it from you through the phone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that would be,
Yeah,
"Hey, Lee, what the hell? Glenn's gonna come
yeah.
beat me up. Give my lady the flu from across the pond." Patrice, your hand is up. Do you do the body brush? I like the body. I don't know if I would call what I use a brush, but I like scrubbing. Um, I mean, you can get sort of like cloths that do it. You can have actual brushes. There's a lot of different. I have scrubbers I use for my feet, like actual like scrubbers, but only for my feet. If I use that on the rest of my body, it would like cut it apart. I really like that. Patrice, yeah, your hand is up.
Okay. Yes, exfoliating. Everyone should be exfoliating.
So
Yep.
tell me, I've seen that
Feet, feet, all that.
in the
Exfoliate.
the soap section, exfoliating scrubs, things like that. What does exfoliating mean? Does that mean just like getting all the stuff out of the crevices, the tiny little parts of your skin?
Skin cells. I think we shed like 1,000,000 skin cells a day.
Oh, yeah, most of the
Um,
dust in your home is from skin.
that's right. I was just gonna say that. People don't realize that. Uh, and then they're just totally grossed out. So yes, exfoliating. Everyone should be exfoliating. And then I use and you can use a washcloth. You don't have to buy anything special. I have feet brushes.
Yeah, feed
Um
brush, that's good stuff.
yes, yeah, it is good stuff. Um and you can and I use scrubs. They changed the scrubs because the beading that they had in scrubs wasn't like biodegradable. But I use like,
Oh,
ginger.
yeah. No, that was
Ginger's
a
a
huge
really
deal.
good
They had exfoliating
Mhm.
scrubs that had, like, plastic beads, and it all went straight
Yes.
into the oceans and the lakes and stuff like that, and so, that was one of the weird things about the US is that, usually we don't care about the environment, but, those things, they banned those really quickly because those beads ended up everywhere.
You can make your own scrubs. I mean, just use sugar and honey. Call it a day.
That sounds like barbecue when you, like, what's it called when you put, like, the sauce on the meat while it's spinning in the oven?
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there's all different things that you can make right from your kitchen. Do a lemon, brown sugar, and honey scrub I have in my shower right now. Mhm. But, I mean, just using a washcloth and your body wash or soap or whatever you use
I
will
was not
exfoliate your
describing it
skin.
correctly because a washcloth is just sort of like a rag. There are these things you can buy that are sort of like, see-through washcloths, like, they're not, it's not like cotton, it's probably some sort of fiber synthetic thing, and it's kind of long, like a really thin towel, and, it's very rough against your skin, and you can also, grab one end with one hand and one end with the other and sort of rub it on your
Yes.
back, those sort of things. Yeah, those are great.
Or a
Yeah.
loofah? Lee, is it a loofah?
Isn't a loofah like a ball? Yeah, it's like that
Well, it can
material,
be
but
different
rather than
shapes.
being like a ball, it's like a long
Mhm.
loofah.
Yeah, yeah. But the body brushing is good. A dry body brush before you have your shower.
Oh, no,
It
that's
wakes up
weird.
your skin.
Never
It
you're
wakes up
body
your
brushing
skin.
before you get in the shower?
Yeah, and then you
You
wash
better
off
be
all the
doing
stuff.
that outside.
Yeah, it's so good for you.
Yeah, are you, like,
You have
out
to
in
go
your
outside
yard
naked.
without any clothes on, just, like,
Yeah.
body brushing yourself, Better
No,
Call
I'm
Mhm.
Saul?
in the shower. I'm standing in my shower so that
Ah,
the
but
Oh,
just
skin
no
cells don't
water.
go everywhere. Just no water.
That
I
sounds
put a link. Yeah.
really that sounds really painful.
No, it actually wakes up your skin. I put a link in the bubble, the chat bubble.
Yeah, I started reading that, and I stopped reading it when, I got to the "It may encourage circulation." That's the sort of new age stuff nowadays. They'll be like, "Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great for whatever," and then you read it, and it says, "It may increase circulation."
Well, I can tell you that it does. It definitely works on my skin. And when I don't do it for like a couple of days or so, I really miss it.
Oh, no,
And
absolutely.
I
The
I
foot
went,
scrub that I use and everything else, if I don't use it for a couple of
hmm
days, I feel very dirty. Yeah.
yeah, and I went a full week without it because I didn't have my body brush in the hospital. So I went a full week without it. So by the time I got home, I was desperate to scrub
So
my skin.
that's a part of your, hospital journey that we did not cover on the most recent
Mm,
show when you talked about your stroke. When you had
hmm
your stroke, you were, like, conscious, but you were, like, kinda drunk and out of it, and then you went to the hospital, and after a day, they were like, "Oh, you had a stroke." at that point, were they letting you take showers? Was some nurse coming in and bathing you
Um,
with, like, a sponge? What was that like?
no, in the shower, I didn't have. So I had my stroke on Friday. I was in the emergency department Friday night and Saturday. And by Saturday night, they put me on a ward, but I was still in a trolley. And it wasn't until Saturday that I got to have a shower. Um, no, they have like a little pull-out seat that you can sit on because I wasn't strong enough to stand up. And then they attach to your hand this red cord. So if you fall down or you feel weak or anything, you just yank on the red cord that's attached to your hand and somebody will come and help you. But the first shower was exhilarating because it was my first shower in like 3 days because we had no power before that. Um,
But your water
so
works when you don't have power, right? You can still take a shower.
yeah,
Is it just
but no,
cold?
I couldn't do that, Lee. Oh God, no. I
You
don't
can't
mind
because
having
it
a
would be
flash.
it would be cold. You didn't take a
It would
shower
be
when you had no power?
Baltic. It would be no. We did have the local hotel opened up a room so people could take showers, and our local soccer club opened up
Do you
there.
do you have like a, electric water heater? Because a lot of people in the United States will have a water heater that runs off of, is it like it uses fire?
Solid State. Yeah, no, I have.
Whenever I lose power, I still have hot water.
That's probably because it's independent of electric. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
have
you'd
a
probably just have a different setup in Ireland that's
yeah
common.
a stove that will work, but I had no kerosene. I had no oil or gas or whatever you call it. Um, um. So yeah, I'd had a shower. I think either the Wednesday or the Thursday, and then it wasn't until the Saturday that I just dragged my ass into the shower room. And I mean, even then, I couldn't get my left hand up to my face. I
Oh,
couldn't
okay,
get
so you had to, like, take a shower with one hand.
yeah. So it was really hard to wash my hair. My hair was incredibly long, and it was really hard to get to one side of my head. But now it's with the work that I've done. I'm putting in 6 to 8 hours of occupational
Yeah,
therapy a
all these
day.
people are, coming to your house, right?
Mm-hmm. And um, I am getting better. It's just irritating. I'm incredibly disappointed in my body. It's like I feel like it's um, turned on me. But I am getting better every day, and I think my voice is back. I'm not sure.
No, it was, after the first show, you sounded really tired. It was
Yeah.
after that you sound just like you did before.
Oh, okay, that's good. Um, yeah, I was quite nervous about my voice. Um, but yeah, I mean, some when I am tired, I am wall falling. There's no talking to me. I can't function. Um, but yeah, it was an incredibly valuable lesson, and I got a friend of mine, an American friend who's a nurse, to work out how much it would have cost me. So I give her a list of everything that I had done, all the tests, the MRIs, the CAT scans, um, the echo, and she worked it out between 350,000 and 350 and $500,000.
Yeah, that's why it sucks being an American. It's like we lost some
Mm-hmm.
war, and I don't mean like Vietnam or
Mm-hmm.
Iraq. It's like we
Mm-hmm.
lost World War II, and we've had to, like, pay back our debts for the past 70, 80 years. Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy how bad stuff is here.
Yeah,
Um, Most drugs that you get in Ireland, for much cheaper than we do, were
Hmm.
conceived of with American government dollars and American private, talking about COVID vaccines. It was like a Turkish German couple that was working for the German company, but it was financed by the Trump administration. Like, we pay for everything, but it's more expensive here than anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, even on Medicaid, they seem to be charging the Medicaid. The pharmaceutical companies seem to be charging Medicaid more than what they would be if they weren't on Medicaid.
I
Um,
don't think that's the case, but not being on Medicare or Medicaid, I couldn't tell you. Um,
mm,
but yeah, that's the one thing is we have um, for older people, they get Medicare and is Medicaid for like disabled people, whatever it is.
oh, okay.
Most people get some sort of government benefits when they get older and retire, but until then, unless you're on disability or something, you don't get anything. So, um, yeah, it's quite a travesty. So just be glad
Mm.
you're in Ireland. But hey, when Ukraine gets invaded, we'll pay for that. Ireland won't pay for that, but you get great health care, so that's a good trade-off.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think Europe is going to go into the Ukraine anyway. Um,
Say that again?
the EU is going to go into the Ukraine. We have a
No, you're not. You're not gonna have an EU army. You're not gonna start bailing out Ukraine. Trump is going to force a deal, whether or not it's good for Ukraine or it's good for Russia, which I just assume probably he would favor Russia because he's Trump. But you're not going to have an EU army. The EU is not a bunch of places like Alabama and Texas and Iowa and Florida and Michigan. Like, you guys have a lot of prejudices in Europe. Even if you're a member of the EU, you don't even have to use the euro. Like, that's how loose the EU is. You're not going to go to Ukraine. You really think so?
well, only the sovereign states um, don't use the euro. The rest of us do, and we all signed up to the Maastricht Treaty, um, where, except for Ireland, because we're peacekeepers, which basically means that if all goes tits up in the Lebanon, which it looks like it is, we will be going in there. Um, but the Maastricht Treaty basically says that in the event of a major war, um, as young as 18-year-olds can be drafted. And that comes under the European Union.
It's like in the US, I had to register for the selective service when I voted when I was 18. We're not going to have a draft. So whatever you have written down somewhere, it doesn't matter. I mean, Russia invaded Ukraine and Europe did nothing. Ireland did nothing. We had to
Oh,
bail them out.
I wouldn't go that far.
No,
We have
we've talked
already
about this
paid
before. You have not given a single dollar to the defense of Ukraine. No, we're
291.
not having this discussion again. I proved you wrong before. You're just dead wrong. I don't know what else to tell you. You can give money to people to help them, but that does not have to do with the defense of Ukraine. Zelensky has said now, because he's worried about Trump, that Ukraine will not stand without American support. And it would not be there today without American support. Not Ireland's, not Germany, not Poland, but Poland and Germany have done a hell of a lot more to defend Ukraine than Ireland has done, because you've done zero. So I wish you guys all the best. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And that's why I think that Trump is going to continue to do whatever he wants. He's going to be able to force a deal because you guys are pussies. I'm sorry, you are. You don't want to defend your own continent against a crazy aggressor like Russia. And you just have this socialist lifestyle that's amazing. I wish we had that lifestyle, but it's completely artificial because Europe is protected by the United States, where everything sucks for us because we protect you.
I'm going to disagree with you, Lee. I really am. But we have to agree to disagree. But I'm very aware what happens on the ground here, and yeah, I mean the Irish won't go to war, but I mean we lost 18,000 people. We're a neutral country. We lost 18,000 men in the Second World War. Um, we will sign up with French, German, English. Um, we will sign up with other countries. Um, and yet we are a peacekeeping force. We're the ones that are put on the ground um, in the Lebanon. It's a 6-month rotation.
Everyone does that. The United States does UN peacekeeping forces. Don't pretend like that's something
No,
special.
I'm not
Everyone does
pretending
that.
that. I'm not pretending anything of the sort. But that's what we do.
That's all you
We
do.
don't.
The correct thing to say is that's all you do.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I am very aware
No,
of the
it's not
amount
an
of.
opinion. I mean, it's correct. Prove me wrong, and you've never been able to prove me wrong about this. You talked about
Well,
all the money you gave Ukraine, and I looked it up, and it was only to help Ukrainian people. It was not for the defense of Ukraine. And I thought, well, that's great, but it doesn't matter when Ukraine is gone and it's part of Russia because you're pussies. I get you're a
um,
small country. I get you're not powerful like Germany. You're not powerful like the United States. I get that. But you clearly could do more, and you've decided, no, we're not going to. So
I don't know, and I really don't agree with that. But I mean, I've worked with the Ukrainian council here.
great.
Um,
You've worked with the Ukrainian Council in Ireland, not in Ukraine to fight Russia. Yes.
no, I'm not an idiot. But we don't make weapons. We don't actually make weapons or
You
sell
have
them or.
military forces. If you do peacekeeping missions, you could give
Oh yeah,
them
we have.
whatever things you have. You also could just give them money, but you've decided to not give them money for war, only to aid the people, which I guess is better than nothing. You could have just said,
Well,
screw
because
y'all.
of our neutrality, we can't support war.
But that is a choice. That is not a reason. That's a choice. You understand, like, hey Lee, we're in Los Angeles and my house is burning down. Could you help me save my family or take out a hose and try to spray it on my house so it doesn't burn down? No, sorry, I'm neutral. Excuse me? No, I'm neutral. I don't do that. I mean,
That's not exactly
I'll
how
give you
neutrality
some
works.
money and you can go stay in a hotel, but I'm not going to help you like save your family. I'm not going to help you fight the fire. We're neutral. I mean, that's an excuse. It's not a reason. So you say the same thing over and over again. I
So
don't know
you
what else to
say
tell
so
you.
you will say the same thing about Switzerland.
Yeah. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
one thing I would say about Switzerland is that their neutrality is longer lasting and deeper than Ireland's.
Yeah, well, we've only been neutral for 100 years because of English occupation and genocide. So we've only really been neutral for 100 years. So we're a baby. Um, we haven't had the opportunity. And even when we gained independence in 1921. Even in the First World War of 1917, um, I think we lost about 10,000 men in that war. Um, I mean, the Irish Guard is part of the English Army. The Irish Guard protects the King, or before that, the Queen. Um, and we kind of had our own war going on.
Well,
Um,
you had violence. It was not a war like a civil war. You had a lot of violence, terrorism, but it was not armies fighting each other.
it was the Irish Republican Army fighting the British. It was very much a war.
They were not battles. They were people who maybe called themselves something, but they were not battles. It was violence. It was terrorism. You could call it not even guerrilla warfare, because guerrilla warfare would be like we're out in the middle of nowhere and we're doing raids like commando style. Like that was not happening. It was bombings. It was targeted shootings and violence. So I
Yeah, on
don't think
both
it.
sides. On both sides, the British Army, the British Parliament apologised for Bloody Sunday when 17 Catholics were shot on the street.
But once
Um,
again, I don't we need to get on the same page. When I say something, I don't think it makes sense to just keep going down a road that I just proved is not a good path for what you're trying to accomplish. So it was not a war. Granted, a lot of people died. But I mean, Spain had a civil war. America had a civil war. Um, France had a revolution. I don't like sometimes a revolution and civil war can be a fine line. Russia clearly had a revolution, right? China
mhm.
had a revolution, but I think that's actually probably more of a civil war. However, it gets labeled in the West. What happened with China, where the communists rose and everyone else escaped to, was it Taiwan? That was a civil war, and the side that
Mhm.
America backed lost, and we were surprised by that. But that was a civil war. I mean, from what I've read about the FARC in Colombia, like that actually started as more of a civil war, but as time went on, it just became like paramilitary groups and drugs and all this other stuff. But originally, I think what happened in Colombia was like a civil war, just like what happened in Cuba. You could call it a revolution, but I think also a civil war, but one side won so convincingly. I guess that's when you call it a revolution. But that's okay. We'll have to move on to something else because I just,
Yeah,
oddly enough, I know you're Irish and I'm not. So clearly you got some background that I don't. But
yeah. I
it's
live
really
this.
confusing to me that you just don't seem to understand that 2 + 2 equals 4. Like Ireland's could
I
do
do.
more. You choose not to. And it's not because you're neutral. That's a choice. So it's a choice. You could do more. You do have military assets and you certainly have money and you could do a lot more, but you choose not to, just like most of Europe chooses not to, because up until Trump, they knew that we would do it for them. And that's why, even though I don't support Trump, it's so fucking refreshing to see Europe freaked out because they're like, oh no, we can't count on America taking care of all of our problems for us anymore.
I'm not going to um argue that point because I really don't want to fall out with you.
Is that happening in Ireland? Are people freaking out about Trump the way that Germans are and
No,
Greenland and
we're just sitting back, waiting and hoping that it doesn't come to our shores. He can't land here because he's still a convicted felon. So he can't come here.
I don't
So
understand. You don't allow American felons into Ireland?
no, if you're a felon, there's like a whole host of countries he can't go to
But he's the
because
president of the United States.
yeah, but he's a convicted felon.
I I don't understand. I don't think we have those rules in the US. I have to look them up. If someone's the president of a country, the prime minister, whatever it is, like you have state visits, and that's really
Mm,
disappointing. I mean,
he can't
he's an
go to
elected official of the United
yeah
States at the highest level.
unless he pardons himself. He can't go to Britain. He can't go to France. He can't go to Spain. He can't
Well,
go to Germany.
he can't pardon himself because it's a state
Exactly.
felony.
Yeah.
Um,
So he can't. I think there's like 30 countries around the world. He can't go to Australia because he's a convicted felon, regardless whether he's been charged or sentenced or not. He's still a convicted felon. That's why he sent JD Vance over. Now I know he's kind of busy with America at the moment. But no, he can't come to Ireland. No
So
convicted
Ireland might
felon.
be different, but I'm looking this up on ChatGPT right now, and it says may or typically. It's not a straightforward ban. So I don't think that's the case. They may
Well,
say
I know.
that he can't come, but it's not because their hands are tied. It's because they don't want him to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Netanyahu. If he comes to Ireland, he will be arrested
Yeah, because he
because
has a warrant
under
out for his arrest. Yeah.
yeah under the International War Crimes Tribunal, he is a terrorist. And if he comes to Ireland, he couldn't go to Poland for the Auschwitz Holocaust
Because they
Memorial
said that
because
they were going to arrest him. Yeah.
they would arrest him. Yeah, and they should.
But like for instance, Canada generally bars felons, but allows waivers or special permits, so it's not a rule. United Kingdom can refuse. Australia and New Zealand typically denies. Japan and China
Yeah.
requires disclosure and may refuse entry. So it's not just a law.
Yeah, well, even going back to when Amy Winehouse was
Oh
nominated in the
yeah,
Grammys,
she won a Grammy,
she,
but she was like in the UK, right?
she wasn't allowed to travel to. She couldn't get a visa to go to America. She wasn't allowed to travel to
So I
America.
looked up Ireland. I'm going to share this over on Twitch and Rumble, and I think you're dead wrong. It says Ireland does not have a strict automatic ban on felons, but it does have immigration rules that allow authorities to refuse entry based on criminal history. So no,
Yeah,
what you said is just not true.
I doubt if Trump wanted to come, I doubt the Irish government would stop him. Basically because we're too polite. But there would be
I love that.
protests.
Lee, we're too polite. I doubt we would
We
do
are.
anything about it. We're just too polite.
There would be protests up and down the country if he came here. Because we don't have any time. We don't see celebrity the way Americans do. Um, you're not going to get the same level of praise in Ireland as you would. We don't do egos.
What do you
In
don't you
fact,
like that MMA guy? Isn't he a huge celebrity?
no, we hate him. We despise him. He came. Are you talking about Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just assume you did. You guys don't like him?
we hate him. He is a criminal who is one of the biggest cocaine dealers in Dublin. He came west to Galway and he survived 24 hours. We ran him out of the town. He literally had to go home the
But
next day.
isn't that like lawlessness? Like, isn't that not a good idea
No,
that the public mob could just run someone out of town?
yeah, are, we call it peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. And
That's
he,
different than running him out of town. That's not the same thing at
oh, but
all.
he left. He
So
left
what you
because
just
he wasn't
said,
being
you
left
now
alone.
admit was not true. You didn't run him out of town. He left.
He left because he was due to come for a week and he lasted less than 24 hours. And he's a rapist cokehead.
I
And
mean,
that's
I,
what
I
he is.
assume he could be. I don't know that much about him. I mean, Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist, and everybody
Yeah,
seems to like him still. Um, but
but he
wow,
did his
okay.
time, didn't he?
I'm sorry.
He did his time.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's a rapist.
Yeah, but he did his time. I mean, if you're rehabilitated, then
No, 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 no. That's not what I said. I said he's a rapist, and I think he served time. That does not mean rehabilitated. What?
well, the idea of going to prison is you lose your rights and you learn your lesson.
That's not what prison is in the United States. No, I'm
Oh,
sorry
that's
you
what
have that
prison is here.
opinion. Yeah, no, but so I'm guessing Conor McGregor didn't go to prison for rape. You just think he's a
No,
rapist?
it was a civil case.
Oh, then
He
he's not
offered
a
her.
rapist. That's different. You can't say
He
someone's a
off-
rapist for a civil case. You are
uh,
factually incorrect. If you were a journalist, you would be sued and you would lose.
no, in all
Yes.
the papers, he was called a rapist. If you heard the testimony, Lee, you would be horrified.
Well, Oh, I don't know how it works in Ireland, but in a country where we do not allow just people to run people out of town, and if you attack someone, even if they're a horrible person, police will shoot and kill you, and I 100% support that. Um, if you
Oh, we
like
did.
O.J. Simpson, he was convicted in a civil trial, so he was
Mm-hmm.
financially responsible for the two people he murdered, but he was innocent in a criminal trial. So you cannot say, as a journalist, he's a murderer. You can say, I think he did it. But for instance, this is a small story. You may not have seen it. Um, Donald Trump had an interview with, was it George Stephanopoulos with ABC News back when he was running for the presidency that he now holds. And George Stephanopoulos basically called him a rapist a couple of times during the interview. And Donald Trump is not a rapist. He's never been convicted of rape. And they actually found out through investigations that the journalist, I think it was George Stephanopoulos, he had conversations with his producer before the interview, and his producer said, make sure you don't call Trump a rapist because he's not a rapist. He's never been convicted of rape. And he did it anyways. And ABC News had to settle a lawsuit with Trump because they were 100% wrong. You cannot call
Yeah.
someone a rapist who's not convicted of rape.
Yeah, but yeah, he paid 15 million. Well, ABC paid
I
for
don't understand. I this is what I'm talking about. Like I'll say something and you'll be like, well, what about this? He's not a rapist. He has accepted liability for some
it.
sort of sexual I don't know what the technical term is with the court decision, but it was a civil, you said it was a lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
So nothing you've said has changed anything of what I just said, which is that he's not a
No,
rapist.
I'm agreeing with you. I am agreeing with you.
So why do you
The
call him a
thing that
rapist? He's not a rapist. Where Mike
I
Tyson
didn't
is a
call Donald
rapist.
Trump a rapist.
I'm
I
sorry?
didn't call Donald Trump a rapist.
No, no, no. You were talking about Conor McGregor. He's not a rapist. He's never been convicted of rape.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I know that I call him a rapist.
I understand you
Mm,
do. You've
Yeah,
said that many times. I
yeah,
understand that. Yeah. I just don't get it. Like you understand that that's not appropriate, but you do it anyways. So
yeah.
I don't
But
know. Oh,
again, I'm Irish. We're Irish. We
that's funny.
tell it
You're
like it
supposed you're
is.
supposed to be neutral. You don't tell it like it is. You stick in the middle and
Oh,
don't do anything.
well, no, when it comes to Conor McGregor, we tell it like it is. We just hope he goes off to bloody Romania with the um Andrew Tate. We
Yeah,
just
Andrew
want him
Tate.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We just want him out. We want him out.
I think
Um,
if I could convince Ireland that Conor McGregor is pro Russia, then you guys would come to the aid of Ukraine. If I could really convince you that that rapist Conor McGregor is pro Russia, then you would start sending military arms and you would send money to Ukraine to fight the invaders.
yeah, I still don't think that we can as a neutral country.
No, you could. There's no you can't. You choose to act the way you act. There's no I mean, you can decide what you want to do. There's no legal entity that's going to come over and take your country away because you're no longer neutral. That is a choice. Just like Donald Trump is now choosing as the president to not bend over backwards to defend Ukraine when Europe should be doing that. It's a choice.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, all I know is that the Ukraine wants to be part of Europe. I mean, the reason that Zelensky
You mean
is
the
doing
EU? It is part of Europe, but it wants to be part of the EU, right?
no, well, it's not officially part of Europe. It wants to be part of the EU. And Zelensky was told he had to sort out the mafia, which is
Yeah, it's a corrupt
just
country. He's had to like fire generals. And incorrect. Ukraine is part of Europe, both
okay.
geographically and culturally. It's not part of the EU, but it is part of Europe.
Uh,
Russia invaded
yeah,
Europe.
yeah.
It's the second largest
Um,
country in Europe by land area.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had a friend who in 92 in 92 um when the wall fell, after the wall fell,
You
and
mean
Ukraine became its own
for
country.
wouldn't that be like
The Berlin
89
Wall.
or 90? So
No,
you mean like a couple of
89,
years after
the
that?
wall fell. It was a couple of
Yeah.
years after that. They wanted electricians and construction workers, and they wanted them in the Ukraine. And I had a friend of mine whose boyfriend went as an electrician, and she followed him over, and they bought an Irish bar in Odessa. They also own a logging company, but the mafia fees were so high that they had to sell because they just couldn't keep it going. They loved Odessa. They now um, own a hotel in Greece. They still own the
Well,
logging
that's
company.
also a country that has corruption problems.
Yeah. Um, but not as bad as the Ukraine. So the idea that, I mean, the Ukraine wants to be part of the EU and they want to be part of NATO, but Putin he will set off a nuclear weapon before he will let that happen. Putin is
Oh no,
sting.
no. Even Trump would nuke Russia. There will be no nukes in this conflict.
I don't know. They went after
You
the
don't think Trump would nuke someone? Please.
oh yeah, well, that's true. But I don't think whatever Russia has on Trump is big. Um, they
You
have to
think
have some sort
it's
of
worse than
weapons.
what we already know about Trump?
Yeah, I think it has to be because Trump has been a supporter of Putin since 2016.
I mean,
I
all of
think
the collusion accusations by Democrats were proven false. They were never able to prove collusion. He did not collude with Russia. No. He says good things
um,
about Russia, just like he says good things about China and North Korea. He likes those totalitarian leaders, but
but
I,
again, Lee,
I'm
I
not
don't know
seeing
if
it.
you've heard this. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Kim Jong Un has come out and said that Trump is dangerous. The leader of North Korea
I
has
don't
come
know
out.
what that if that's true or not, but it doesn't matter because Kim Jong Un like murders his own generals. Like
Oh
if you
yeah,
look at the coverage of that, he like I think I saw a story where he tied a general to like something and they shot him with like an aircraft gun, like one of those huge guns you use to shoot down airplanes.
yeah,
So I don't care what he says about Trump.
yeah. Well, Putin will kill you too. Any political adversary to Putin. I mean, he killed what was that guy? He poisoned um, who was doing well politically against him. Putin had him killed.
But
Putin
once
has killed.
again, China kills people, Russia kills
Oh
people,
yeah,
North Korea kills people. None of this is new. None of this is surprising.
no,
Trump doesn't kill people. Um, you might
not
think
yet.
there's some isolated incident, like back in the day, he had someone taken out, but like as a leader, he does not kill people in those ways. We
No,
already know so much about Trump. I can't believe there's anything that Russia has on him because they would have used it by now. Um, I
I don't know.
but you're
I
just
don't
making
know.
stuff up. You're just like, oh,
I'm
Lee,
not
they've got.
though. I
Yes,
mean,
you are. I mean, you're like, oh, they must have something. And like, show me a bit of evidence. Democrats tried to litigate this, and they all lost.
yeah, that is true.
So
But
you're
Putin,
making stuff up. There's nothing there. It could be true, but show me the evidence, and there's none there
well, you see,
because
that's
he
the thing
says
with
good
Russia.
things about Russia, just like he says about China, just like he says about North Korea. So you think all three of those countries have something on him, and that's why he says good things about them? He says
No,
good
I
things
don't
about
think
the
so.
far right in Germany. What do they have on him?
Oh, I just think that's his political interest. I mean, Elon Musk came out against the far right here in our elections before Christmas. Uh, um, and he says that, oh, our free speech is in danger. There's nothing in danger in Ireland. We can
Well,
say what
unless you're
we want.
Conor McGregor and you wanna stay in a city for more than a day.
Yeah, but we don't do scumbags.
Well, I
Pure
mean,
scum
you
or not.
decide what a scumbag is rather than the courts. That's mob justice,
Well,
and
I didn't decide that.
well, you called him a rapist, I think you did.
Yeah, yeah, and I will until the end of my days. Um, he is yeah. Yeah,
But
we just
we're all
don't
over the place.
that.
Show me a shred of evidence that Russia has something on Trump, and even
I
if they
don't
do,
have any.
yeah,
I don't
exactly,
have any
because
evidence.
you're making stuff up. I mean,
All
that's the
all I
definition of it.
know.
So I would say, show me a shred of evidence, and then number 2, imagine something concrete. So not just something, but something actually like this is how it would sort of sound that Russia could have on Trump that is significantly worse than anything we already know about him.
I
That
don't
is
have any
real
evidence.
that is
All
realistic.
all
And
I know is that Putin is a dictator. Putin will kill his political um, protesters. He will. I mean,
none of this is different than China. None of this is different than North
I'm not
Korea.
talking about China.
No, no,
China
no, no, but
doesn't
you are
appear
because
in our
everything
elections.
you're saying about Russia is the same thing for those other 2 ones that I keep bringing up, and you don't seem to think that they have something on Trump. So you've failed to show any significant difference between Russia, North Korea, and China. You have now admitted you have no evidence that Russia has anything on Trump. You can't even fathom what something like that could be. So it just doesn't make any sense to me why you keep going back to this when you freely admit you have no idea what you're talking about. But let's pause for a
No,
second.
I
It's
have
News
no
Debate. I'm
idea
Lee.
what the evidence is.
No, you have no idea what it is because you just, like I said, you have no foot to stand on. But let's go over here to stereo. I think these messages are about our current topic. Oh, hey, and it's Bjorn. Let's bring up Bjorn. We're gonna hear from HMAC over on stereo, and then I'll bring up Bjorn in the meantime.
I think people didn't follow the directions in high school, which was if you listen to any type of news article, I thought it was you had to look at 3 or 4 other news channels and see what they're talking about. You also have to make sure if you're looking at a conservative network, you do look at other liberal outlets. And the same thing with liberal outlets, you look for conservative outlets. You know what I'm saying? And then neutral, of course. But dude, when people say these trigger words and these trigger phrases, just like parrots repeating what was said, they never do the full investigation. So Trump, he had no collusion with Ukraine and Russia. That was all Biden, along with Biden being the big guy on the emails with China details. So yeah, Trump isn't colluding with those guys. He's just a good businessman and ally. So yes, like we want to know what does Russia, the Ukraine, whoever have on Trump? Dude, Trump's wife, not to mention, is European, aka I thought Russian. So she's gonna be able to communicate with certain movers and shakers. I can understand someone like directing that conversation in terms of Trump having an edge, but no, Trump isn't afraid of anyone. That's why all over the world they understand he isn't part of the Hillary Clinton Bush family. BS. He's a renegade. That's why everyone loves him. Like that's so mind-boggling to me. And our free speech has been under attack unless you have left standing views, aka if you believe a man can be a woman, you can talk about it all day long, but if you do not agree with that, you're going to be shut down.
can't agree with everything that we heard from H Mac in those messages, but specifically that last one, I would say up until now, you used to be shut down and you used to be canceled if you're like men are men and women are women. Look at poor what's her name who created Harry Potter. Um, but not anymore. And I got to say, even though I don't support Trump, that's super refreshing. Melania is from Slovenia, not Russia. She became a U.S. citizen in 2006. Let's jump over here and hear from Bjorn. Bjorn, you're joining us over on Stereo. It's been a long time friend. Hope that you're doing well. You can comment on anything you just heard or go in a different direction. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, Lee? Long time. Uh, yeah, I'm just been getting a little work in today. Gonna go pick up a kid from daycare, and yeah, I think overall, clearly not been super excited about a lot of the things going on. I guess the things that have, you know, rankled me the most would be things like the destruction of USAID. I've done a lot of like global work in the healthcare field in different countries, and know the limited resources that these places already have, and USAID has been kind of a little bit of at least a somewhat of a backbone for so many countries and folks that need it. And I'm sad to hear what there's kind of uncertainty in that realm. I know the suffering that will kind of result from that, so that's real sad. Also, a little nervous about HHS director RFK and kind of the changes coming down the pike from that, as well as I think that no one in healthcare is really excited about what he's going to do from there. But I don't know. So I don't know. I'm jumping on the show late, so I don't know what y'all been up talking about.
We were actually having a very apolitical conversation about like massages and uh, uh, using like exfoliating soap when you shower and like and scrubbing your body and things like that. Like only recently did we start getting into Trump, but I love hearing your thoughts on Trump. So this was a good time to join the show. So yeah, RFK Jr. is in. Trump, some things have been paused. Like I think his ending birthright citizenship now could go to the Supreme Court because it's been stopped by yet another judge. But they've been firing like everybody, like you were just mentioning with USAID and the IRS, I think, is now going to be firing a bunch of people and all the other stuff that's already happened. God, he is getting shit done. Say what you will about Trump, he is getting stuff done. Um, is there anything other than RFK that you have seen from a medical perspective? You work in the medical field. There was a pause on like federal funding and grants, right? Did that affect you at all? What's been affecting you as someone in the medical field?
Yeah, I mean, I work at a academic institution as well, so like there's a lot of folks who their whole job is basically medical research, and so and how grants are written and salaries are done is that if you know say you're a medical researcher, you say I'm going to cure cancer and it's going to cost me this much and this is how much staff I need to hire to help me cure cancer. And so you write the grant, you send it in.
That was really weird. That was super weird. So my phone, my phone was plugged in and it turned off. That was weird. So we've lost Bjorn a lot of times on stereo because I'm stupid and I don't plug in my phone, but it was literally plugged in. Um, l- Let me see what I can try to figure out here. I don't know what that was. Maybe it overheated? That's very strange. We'll see if we can join back over on stereo. Bjorn probably is still in the room, and so it's still going, and I can just hop back in. Give me a hot second here. No, this is really confusing. Now the phone won't turn on. Um, I don't know. This is the device I've used a really long time for stereo. I may maybe sometimes even when your phone's plugged in, if the battery is really bad, which this phone certainly the battery is really bad, because I usually leave it plugged in. So if you just leave it plugged in constantly, the battery dies, right? I've had devices, I should say, because I use a lot of different devices for the simulcasting that I do. If your battery is not strong, you could be plugged in and you could be at 100%, but as the phone is operating, as the device is operating for stereo or Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, whatever it might be, it will actually be using more power than it can charge on the battery. And so you'll go from 100 to 99, blah, 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 all the way down to one, and then it will turn off. I think that's what happened here, but that's never happened before. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. You can go in and try to put like power saving mode on. You can even just lower the brightness of the screen, and sometimes that's a big enough change to make it work. But this is a new out of left field complication. I've never seen this before on this phone. We've been going more than 2 hours. We might just wrap it up. Um, my voice has gotten better uh, as the show has gone on, but maybe I don't want to overdo it, so I can maybe come back full speed 100% for my show next week. I'm doing about one or two shows a week now. But I think I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm writing a message to Bjorn to apologize. Yeah, so my apologies to Bjorn. It's always a pleasure to have him on the show. But I'm not sure what the problem is. It's already past 2 hours. I see the phone is charging. I don't know what happened, so I'll have to go back and try to do a post mortem on that and try to figure that out. Let's say goodbye here. It's News Debate. I'm Lee. So it's been great to have Better Call Sal and Reggie on the show. Reggie, we didn't get to a time when you could speak, so I guess that means you haven't gone on your break yet, but you did tweet a little bit, so appreciate that. Let's see here. Patrice, you're still with us. Do you want to say something before we wrap up the show?
Great show. Sorry. Great show. Um, Sounds like you're doing better, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and hopefully next week I'll go more than 2 hours. Like I said at the beginning of this show, I was, like, muting my mic and coughing a lot. I don't think I've coughed in the last hour, so I think, it was sort of like,
That's good.
if you, like, exercise a lot, but you take a break the first time you go running or the first time you play a sport after a break, you're like, "Oh my god, like, I'm dying," "I'm out of shape." I think my voice was kind of out of shape. I'm still sick, like, I still feel sick, but, after that first hour, I sort of got back into my stride of things, so, that's encouraging, so I'll hopefully continue to get better. So big thanks to, Patrice, great to have you on the show. It was great catching up with you. We haven't had a chance for this sort of in-depth conversation for a long time, and wow, I had no idea you were a cosmetologist and you have all of these awesome stories. So maybe we'll dig into that again at a different time. And once again, my apologies to Bjorn. I have no idea what happened, and that's going to keep me up probably for the next hour before I wanted to take a nap after the show because I still am sick. But I think the next half an hour, I'm just going to dig into this phone and see why the hell it turned off. So big thanks to everybody, and hope to have you again on the show in the future. Go to bit.ly/NEWZ debate for all my links. If you want to be an instant co-host like Patrice and a bunch of other people, including Bjorn, until the phone turned off, support the show at patreon.com/NEWZ debate. Really appreciate all my supporters like Apostate Nate, Better Vibes, Lola, Shannon, Sneaky Elbow, Ron, Natasha, Nick, MC Funk, and Bjorn, and Glenn. Glenn was not on the show today. We've expected him to show up, but maybe he'll be on the show next week. Take care, everybody, and have a good rest of your week. And hopefully we'll talk again in maybe 4 or 5 days. Bye-bye.